Feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank.
Hello and welcome to the video wrap-up show for the Shrimp Tank podcast in Seattle. I'm Dan Weedin, and I'm joined by my co-host, Linda Popky. We had a fascinating and fun conversation today with our guest, Brett Clark from BC Fitness. To catch the entire episode, and you should, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. We're on all the platforms. You can also find every single one of our episodes on our website at shrimptankpodcast.com/Seattle.
Brett, we had a fantastic discussion and you told us a lot of great things. But one of the things I found most interesting is you talked about what you call modern adults, which I think is those of us who are no longer teenagers and maybe, on the other side of 40 or 50. And the fact that we all tend to lose muscle mass and strength, et cetera, as we get older, but it's not hopeless. So tell us quickly what it is we could do for those of us who fit that modern adult label to stay in shape and to make our lives better.
Absolutely. Well, like we talked about briefly in the show, we talked about, at a certain age in life, you have this this bell curve where you're going to start to lose muscle, and it actually accelerates in your 60s. And so what people can do is get up and move. We focus on flexibility, balance, and strength. Also speed, agility, quickness. We're not building linebackers, in speed, agility, quickness. But what we're talking about is how we navigate through life in our 50s, our 60s, and our 70s, which is being so much different than what we did when we were 35 years old. But the same principle applies when you're 35 as it does when you're 65. Is you still got to get up, you still got to move, because although you are going to lose muscle, it's just inevitable. It's going to happen. You can slow it or you can pause it, but you got to be doing resistance training to do that.
One of the topics that we talked about that was a little bit different than even what we spoke about when you were a guest 2.5 years ago when you started the business is technology in the fitness arena, everything from the emergence of AI and things like tonal and all of that, and your ability to work with people in a very technologically great way. Can you talk a little bit about how that's impacted your clients and how that impacts you as a business owner?
Absolutely. It's part of the SWOT. It's part of the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And you really have to take a look to see these things on the horizon and what's the new thing. And that new thing is technology for all of us in all of our businesses. And so really embracing technology. We're living in a data-driven world. We're living in a quantification world. With Peloton, with Apple Watches, with all this stuff, people want data, and so that's what we have to pivot to, and that's what I've chosen to pivot to as a part of my business is to pivot towards tech-based training, because number one, people love the quantification, but number two, in 20 years, who knows what 20 years is going to look like, and I'd rather be on the front side of that than trying to catch up on the backside.
That sounds great. And to talk about being on the front side of getting ahead of all this stuff, you really should go and watch the entire podcast, because Brett tells us a lot of good things that we need to know to keep ourselves in as good a shape as we can. So thanks so much for being one of our guests, Brett. And for listeners who want to get in touch with you and find out more about this, where should they go?
Probably the best place to go is my website, bcfitstudio.com. I put a lot of information in there because although I do want people to have personal training, I do want people to go out and do that. I also think that quality fitness information and truthful fitness information should be accessible by everybody. So visiting my website, you'll have podcasts, you'll have videos, you'll have tips and tricks that you can do to navigate on your own fitness journey. The other side of it too is I love conversations too. So if anybody saw this show, wants to reach out to me, wants to have a conversation, wants to call BS on me, I don't even mind. They can get a hold of me at brett.bcfitnessstudio@gmail.com, and let's have a conversation. I love talking about this stuff.
That's fantastic. So after you have that conversation with Brett, go and check out our replays on shrimptankpodcast.com/Seattle, wherever you get your podcasts, iHeart, Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, because damn, we are
We are definitely ubiquitous.
We are definitely ubiquitous. And then you can follow us on our show's social media pages on YouTube, Google, and Instagram. YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And listen, if you liked this video, go down, hit like, rate us, talk to us, do all of that stuff. We want to hear your feedback as well. And like I said, don't forget to hit like on that and subscribe. Well, Linda and Brett, thank you very much. We had a great show. Everybody should go catch all of it. Please join us every week at 12 p.m. Pacific for our live stream broadcast on our Facebook page. Our next show will be on June 21st. Please join us. Until we see you again, be healthy, be prosperous, have fun. Because for right now, the shrimp is back in the tank. So long.
I've been feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond, and the shrimp